Welcome to the Life Lounge Show with Rev Manuel.
So you're welcome to the Life Lounge Show. I hope your week was great. And this is Reverend Manuel. Right, so we need to talk about a very serious situation. Gradually, if we don't talk about it and deal with it practically, it's going to become a pandemic, and that's not going to be good for our national development. And we are talking about divorce. In 2021 alone, the Ghana Statistical Service reported that 553,000 marriages have already been dissolved. And then another 400,000 separated. Whether they are pending divorce or, hopefully they may reconcile. But it may look like they are pending, those numbers are pending divorce. And that is not a very good thing. So that is just for 2021. And I know the figures are definitely more in 2022, 2023. Well, we are going to wait for the figures. But something must give. We need to talk about it. What is happening? What is going on? Because, well, the truth be told, the more marriages break, the more we create a dent on our national development. And today we are definitely going to delve into it. This is going to be the part 1. We are going to have part 2. We are going to have part 3, where I'm going to have some guests so that we can actually go deeper and deeper into it. Stay with me. So what are the issues? One, from my own experience, I clearly see ignorance of the marital laws. Many people, those in church, those outside the church, with other religions, and those who don't belong anywhere. Many are ignorant of the laws when it comes to marriages in Ghana. Many people are in some form of domestic relationships, and they feel that after some number of years, it has become marriage, only for them to discover that it wasn't marriage. And then they have children, and then these children do not know their left from their right. Is a whole thing. So ignorance of the law, that is one. I also see too unpreparedness. People are not ready emotionally. They are not ready spiritually. They are not ready mentally. Sometimes they are not even ready financially. But what do you get your ministers and your leaders saying? Oh, don't worry, just go into it. Everything will be fine. As if getting married will automatically make you financially strong. People are unprepared. Yes, you may not need $1 million Ghana cedis to get married, but if you are not financially stable, if you are not emotionally ready, you cannot talk about marriage. And so we have all these people unprepared in this manner who enter marriage, and at the end of the day, we don't hear good news. And then, generally, it's all part of unpreparedness. But many of us would compare our ages, especially for the women, biological clock. For the men, yes, age again, I must settle down. I have enough. I feel I must settle down. Having enough does not mean you are ready to settle down. Being old enough does not also mean you are ready to settle down. The fact that your sisters have married, your classmates have married, or your brothers have married does not mean it's time for you to marry. Generally, we are not prepared for that journey. So we say all the time that marriage is a journey. But who is asking, where are we going to? And what tools and resources do we need for this journey? Nobody's asking those questions. So we need to have a conversation. We need to start from somewhere and say, hey, it's about time we look at it nationally. It's about time we look at it from that point and say, can the nation do something about this? Can we put things in place that divorces can be kept or divorces can be made unattractive? Of course, when you go to the courts, many of these cases are adjourned over and over, and I know that it's a court strategy. Sometimes you reduce the divorce rate, or as it were, to slow it down, and in some cases it has worked. We have seen people who came back together after several years of being in court, and some they went on and married anyway, and that is illegal. And so you can imagine what is happening. They are in court. They are not yet divorced. The case is not over. But because of a long wait, they have gone ahead to marry anyway, and that is very illegal. So I want to quickly tell you that whatever relationship you are in, if it does not fall or if it is not captured in any of the 3 legally recognized marriages in Ghana, then I don't think you are doing the right thing. So whether it is ordinance marriage, which is also known as a civil marriage, Or in everyday language, many people say the court marriage or the kwesi brunia warrior, which must be done and done well. The minister is gazetted, the venue is gazetted. You went through the process, the notification, the 21-day notice was done. You went for the registrar's certificate, which is the license for you to marry, and that authorizes the minister, who is gazetted, and the venue gazetted to perform that, to officiate that ceremony. Then you have the customary marriage, which necessitates that your family members must be present, especially mom and dad from both sides. So in the marriages where the family members, as it were, present, were not actually family members, they were hired people, that is not a legal marriage. You need to understand these things. And then we have the Islamic law marriage, or the Mohammedans, which says that you're entitled to 4 wives, and it must be done in accordance with what the Islamic law says. Okay, your 4 wives, they're all legal wives. In recent times, because of Lomber's case, we are hearing team legal, and many of us are quick to think that team legal only means ordinance. But no. If you're in a customary marriage or under customary law, once the ceremony was done in accordance with your own custom, you as the woman, you are also a legal wife. The same way with the Islamic law marriage. If it was done in accordance with the Islamic law, you are also a legal wife. We need to understand these things. And then also understand that once the first wife, you're talking about the polygamous marriages here, once the first wife is captured under the ordinance law, the rest of you are all illegal wives. We need to understand these things. At some point, many of us are going to realize that we are not married, because many of us are in invalid marriages, or as it were, illegal marriages. Many men, out of ignorance, would also think that, once I have done the court marriage, the civil marriage, I can marry again, only that now it has to be traditional marriage. That is also very wrong. So knowledge is power. We need to increase this knowledge. But who is teaching these things? We have the NCCE there, which are supposed to be doing these things. We have our national broadcaster supposed to be pushing these things. We have from my own pastors who are also supposed to be educating. I say all the time that the pulpit is not only meant to talk about what is in the Bible. The Bible equally has laws anyway. Why can't we also spend time talking about marriages and the laws as well? Because if the church strictly is with the ordinance marriage, and I don't see how you are going to be an agent of the ordinance marriage when you don't talk about what goes into it. So many people will blame the pastor, saying that the pastor didn't tell me, and I don't think any good pastor should say that that's not my responsibility. You can't push people into places where you have not told them what is going to happen to them over there. That's also not good. So we all owe it to ourselves to educate, to learn first. Of course, if you don't know, you can't teach it. And many of our pastors don't know that. Many of our people don't know that. You may not be able to afford a lawyer to come and teach, but at least as a counselor, as a pastor, you should be able to get the basic knowledge as I'm putting across here. So, hey, I'm brightening my corner. What are you going to do about that? If we are going to look at it nationalistically, then let everybody brighten their corner. So I will not just talk about divorce, but hopefully I can put a few things out there that the relevant department or relevant person can pick it up and say, we need to really deal with these things. All right? Stay with me. Welcome back. The late President Magufuli of Tanzania enacted a new law that actually mandated men in Tanzania to have more than one wife. And that was because at the national level, he noticed that the women far outnumber the men. And so you would have women in excess. And wherever there are women in excess, prostitution increased, concubinism increased. We have a lot of unplanned children. I don't like to say unwanted children because children are never unwanted. It's just that we don't plan for them. There were a lot of unplanned children. At some point, many of them fell into armed robbery. Many of the women fell into prostitution. And then prostitution increases STIs, infections. That alone inflates the national budget. So where we are supposed to be planning for other infrastructure, realize that more money is rather going into disease prevention and all of these things. And so in his good mind said, no, let me make it a national policy. Each man should have at least 2 wives. If you can have 3, fine. It became a law. It was something he was pushing for. Now, from the Christian point, that. But you see, if we have to look at everything from that spiritual or religious point, we are going to have issues. Now, if you come in our own country now, I tell you from where I'm sitting from, there are a lot of quick exits from marriage because many men will tell you, I can't sit and tolerate nonsense when there are many women who are dying to marry me. So it's looking like there's some fishes in the sea. Why should I have to work and die with one person? So at the least offense, they are out. And I mean, not to get me wrong, there are many women too who are quick to exit because there is somebody promising them a better life outside of the marriage. Now, on the national level, yes, if we don't look at things from governance, from the governance level, from the budget level, from the point of the cost of immorality, we are going to have an issue. Of course, I'm not pushing for that in Ghana, but these are some of the things at some point in our national development we may have to consider. Of course, we know what armed robbery is. We know what it does to society, the trauma and all of those things. Who are those children? Who are those people perpetrating such crime? Are they in families? What kind of families are they from? Are they from polygamous homes? Or, were they born out of wedlocks? Where are they coming from? So if we're looking at what is happening in society now, if we want to check why what is happening in society is happening now, we need to go to the family level. Let's see what is happening at the family level. Why are people running away from marriage so easily? Why is it looking like marriage is just a normal relationship where you can enter in a hurry and get out fast because you found something that was not even so much of an issue, things that can be talked about, things that can be dealt with? People run away from it. Why? Then again, out of broken homes, we would have a lot of mental issues. We have children who are mentally unstable, who grow to become mentally unstable adults. So you enter many offices. He's a big man. He's a professor. He has a PhD and all of those things. But the way he handles other human beings can tell you that this man has unhealed wounds from childhood. People who grew up in homes where daddy was not present. You can see it as they grow. There is no control. You know when men grow up with only their mothers. Yes, the love is there and everything, but the control isn't much. There is a reason why God put man and woman together and not just man alone to raise children or woman alone to raise children. It must be done together. And once it's done together, we have a solid family. And solid family raise good, healthy children who do so much better in school. So if we are going to really, really look into the future, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, what kind of children are we raising? And what kind of family systems do we have in place? So where to begin? I say, let us catch them young. It will amaze you that for many men, I don't know about other continents, but for many men in Africa, their first marital advice was on the day of their wedding. But it's not so for the woman, for the girl child. You catch a woman, a mother and her daughter in the kitchen, and the kind of conversations they are having, the kind of advice the mother is putting across. You can tell that little girl is being groomed, some way, somehow, unconsciously, to become better than the man. So while the man is hearing for the first time how to treat his woman, the woman or the girl child started hearing these things, at a very young age because mommy was present. So how do we catch them young? We need to make certain subjects, mandatory at the primary level. Conflict resolution, fundamental human rights, gender relations, how to relate, with the opposite sex, emotional intelligence, communication, self-awareness, family values. And when I talk about family values, I'm not talking about that comprehensive thing that some time ago some people decided to impose on us, wanting us to learn what we are not supposed to learn. True family values. How to treat your sister, how to treat your brother, how to treat your parents, how to treat your grandparents. If all these things are taught at a very early age, we will grow up knowing how to resolve conflicts on our own. We don't have to wait until we are old enough. We have married other people's children, and now we are disturbing them because we have come from very, warped characters. Children are innocent learners. Most of the time, it is what mom and dad are doing that children learn from. And so if we don't have an educational system that is training or that is, as it were, molding these children in the way that is desired for society and for national development, we are going to have an issue. Maybe at some point we should be able to come together and say, no, we need a generation. Now we have a generation of school children who enjoy the free SHS. And of course they will have their own peculiar behavior and character. We are going to discover that sometime to come. But can we also have a generation who have been taught and groomed to handle family, to do family right from the beginning, especially emotional intelligence? Thank you, forgive me, sorry, I didn't mean to. Many of these children these days, and I'm sure you know from your homes, you shout at them now, they start crying. As if before they were born, they were told in their world that when you come now, don't tolerate shouting or don't tolerate reprimanding. I don't know where that is going. I know. So this AI world or this era we have, if we don't intentionally bring in things that can groom them the way that some of us, were raised, we are going to have a national problem. So again, on the same subject matter, where divorce is becoming an issue, there are many people who have some worldviews that must be dealt with. And when I say worldviews, typically I hear many people say there are no more virgins. And why do you think they say that? And that's because the many people sleeping around are loud about it on social media. We are in an era where social media is the thing, and now AI is coming in. So there's a lot of information going around easily. Everybody is on their phones. And so people, it's like we are making fornication, adultery, sleeping around a normal thing. And for a generation coming who are not in the right homes, they feel these things are normal. So there are no more virgins. So why do I have the need to be pure, to be a virgin, to wait until somebody, has married me or until I have married? It's because of what we are seeing. There are many people who think no marriage is being enjoyed because of what they are seeing and hearing. So it's like the negatives are louder than the positives. But I dare to say that those enjoying their marriages too should talk about it. How are they making it work? How are they surviving? Of course, you don't get into marriage to endure. You get into marriage to enjoy, to live a certain purpose. Because I tell you this, your happiness, your true happiness would come from the fulfillment of your purpose on earth in your marriage. So if your marriage must go anywhere at all, if you must embark on any journey with your marriage, that is in the fulfillment of your purpose. So as a man, you are going to enjoy your wife when you help her achieve or get to where she's meant to get to before she leaves the earth. And the woman too, the same thing. You are the man's suitable helpmate. So our worldviews, in fact, there's the new generation now, their worldview is so different. Is it true there are no more virgins? It's not true. Is it true every marriage is bad? It's not true. Is it true everybody in their marriage is suffering? It's not true. Is it true everybody is cheating? It's not true. And that's because those who are cheating are louder. Those who are faithful will not talk. So I think that if we must fight this menace, if you ask me, it's becoming a menace, then let the good also talk. And of course, it's funny you say there was a man on social media at that time who was saying that he has been blessed so many times. Nyamisha. He's heard that over 1 million times. He's not seen any blessing until 3 days ago, Obi Bonidia. He's feeling it 3 days after. So it's looking like, yes, evil is doing good. Evil is doing better than good. But should we let it go like that? No. We must still push on. We must still talk about the goodness of every marriage. We must just try to change the worldview of a certain generation. And it begins with you. So if you are in a marriage that is not good, sometimes it's okay to walk away. Because I always tell you that your life must be in front of the marriage, not behind it. Otherwise you will die and God will still be God. It is not everything by prayer. There are some you must run away from. There are some you must learn to cope. Things can get better. And there are sometimes you are just, everything is a roller coaster for you. Some are blessed like that. But whatever it is, marriage is work. For those of us that want to embark on it, marriage is work. If you are a lazy person, you cannot marry. If you are the type that doesn't want to be corrected, you are the type that doesn't want to submit to anybody, if you are the type that cannot stick with one person, you feel that women and men are tools to be used and abused, marriage is not your place. These are some of the things we need to talk about. So that people are not spending $1 million on their weddings after 6 months. What happened? They are out of it again. So what were they thinking? What were they planning for? Who counseled them? All right. So again, on the national level, while we are looking at national policies to make certain subjects compulsory at the primary level to the JHS level, then we are also seeing how government can intervene in keeping marriages together. So in other countries, we have family welfare fund. These are funds that you use to support marriages, or let me say families where sometimes the children are many and then mom and dad are kind of struggling. They're able to get some of this support to get things going. In more advanced countries, even where there's a broken home, daddy has left, we have some men at the social welfare who come in to attend to these children once a week, 2 hours continuous. So at least these children do not feel the absence of a man. And you know, when a man is present in the home, things are more, let me say, there's discipline. Many guys growing up with their mothers, they don't fear their mothers. Mommy asks for mommy. But once daddy is around, they are more coordinated. They comport themselves well. So social welfare must be well equipped. Our social welfare themselves need equipment. And so as a nation who want to talk about divorce, we can't talk about divorce and trying to curb it. We cannot deal with it if social welfare themselves are not well empowered and well equipped to deal with some of these things. Fathers and mothers who are running away from their own responsibilities. And we know even by law that marriage is like a contract, and each party has a role to play. You cannot be married, wake up one day, decide to go and live abroad for 10 years, come back and say, I'm still married. Yes, technically you may still be married, but that is not how you go about it. I mean, if you're expecting some benefits, you're not going to get it. And so even on the national level, marriages where both couples live together, they enjoy some tax reliefs. They enjoy some rebates just to encourage them to stay together. So for me, let us encourage marriages that are doing well. Let us be more supportive of marriages that are doing well. Counseling, in fact, one thing I'm keen on, can we make premarital counseling mandatory? Whether it's at the church level or at the national level, it must be mandatory. Many people think that, once is not ordinance marriage, I don't need counseling. But marriage is marriage. The type of marriage it is does not so much count as how you are going to conduct yourself in the marriage. So premarital counseling, I feel, should be made mandatory. In other countries where presidents are saying that you cannot talk about a particular issue if you are not a professional there, then if you are going to enter marriage, which defines our entire well-being, then you must be well armed and equipped to do so. Ghana doesn't have a divorce problem. We have a preparation problem. And a marriage doesn't break in a day. They break when people enter them without the tools, knowledge, and the emotional maturity required to sustain the union. If we want stronger homes, healthier children, safer communities, and a more stable nation, then we must start long before the wedding day. Remember, the ceremony is not the goal. No. It's a means to the goal. Yamishao.